Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Basically, what is happening is I'm in a reading slump. And I have been since June. It's almost the end of August and I've been in one since June. Basically what I'm saying is, I've been in a reading slump for 2 months and I can't be asked to read books. And I'm hoping this isn't the end of my reading era because I bought 2 books today. So I bought The 7 Days in June by Cheel Williams, and The Lover's Discourse by Roland Barthes, which I've read before, which I love. It's just I read a library copy. And yesterday, my mummy brought me tabs, which is good because I was starting to run out of like all my pinks and my blues in my red, white and royal blue reading vlog. So I hear you say, Jess, why don't you want to read? And I don't know if it's just because so in June I didn't have a job. And now I have a job that I'm just tired all the time. I also don't know if it's my mentalness. But I'm currently reading, I read maybe like 50 pages a week. I'm reading A Court of Wings and Ruin, One Last Stop, and then I'm partway through loads of different books. But these 2 like pink ones are kind of like the ones I'm reading at the moment. And I think half of my problem is ACOTAR, because it's not a very long series. They're just very long books for a romance reader who doesn't read very long books. I don't know. A couple months ago, Sarah Caroli posted a video where she like tried to get out of a reading slump and we kind of went with her. And it's kind of like what this is, apart from the fact that I work a retail job for not even that many hours a week. It's like between 15 and 30 hours a week. But for me, that's a lot because I don't do anything else. So it makes me tired. So basically, I'm in a reading slump. That was my knee. And I don't know how long this is going to take me because I don't know how long it will. But like, I found that reading outside, I can read better. So when the weather's nice, I go to the park, I take my book, I get a coffee, I have like my water, I take some photos, and I read. And I can read like maybe like a chapter and a half. Which with a Casey McQuiston book is like 20 pages. So like really proud of myself. And I try and do that as often as there is good weather. So welcome to my reading slump vlog. Let's hope I can beat it. Okay, it's a couple days after my last clip. And basically one of the tips that people suggest when like you're in a book slump is to go book shopping. I don't know who made that a rule, but I just made it law. So basically, I've done some online book shopping and I was out yesterday watching Oppenheimer. Very good movie, very hard on the brain. And I got some books. So basically, I got 7 Days in June by Cheel Williams because I've been wanting this book not since it came out, but like since it got hype. Also, it's a lot skinnier than I thought. It's like maybe 380 pages, 320. So it's a nice thin book. I'm excited to read, so I'm hoping it might help. I also picked up my long-awaited Ali Hazelwood's Love Theoretically, because Check and Mate comes out end of this year, I think. So basically, I've now got 2 titles that I'm really excited for. I'm like home alone, so there's no fear of distraction. So I'm hoping that I do love Ali Hazelwood's books. I eat them up like crack. So I'm hoping that if I sink into this, and although I have books that I need to finish, I'm hoping that this will help me a lot. You know? I feel like reading an author that I know I love, like actually love, will help me because I've read her novellas, I've read Love on the Brain and The Love Hypothesis twice. I'm hoping it will be like a pot of gold. And hopefully it will be like, yeah, I actually do love reading. So that's the plan. The plan is to read Ali Hazelwood and hope that it sparks the joyful flame back into my body. But I also know that Gilmore Girls season is coming up, autumn, and I know that I will want to get cozy and I'll want to read loads of books. So I'm pretty sure I had a slump last October, so let's just not talk about that. Okay, so the whole reading a book by an author I love did work. I got to chapter 3 and then I went and got food and I was like, I'll read after I've eaten food. I then didn't. And basically what's happened in that time is I rearranged my room. So now I have like by my door, instead of it being the thingy, it's my bed. And then all my bookshelves and stuff are here because I want to buy a Billy and put it here. But what I thought we could do, which might help my whole book slump, is to make a September TBR. This is my August TBR, and I didn't touch it. But because I have like my books of books I've not read, and I've had some new books recently, I'm thinking we change up the book cart, and it might actually make me feel better. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're gonna like swap out some books, put some on the cubby holes, put some in the box. We're just gonna have a little book rotation. I'm just going to take off books that I'm just not itching to get to ASAP. So we have like Dear Mrs. Bird, Shadow and Bone again. Though I'm going to leave the first book here, because I might get to the first book, but just not the rest, you know? I don't really know what type of books I read in like the autumn months. I'll leave the bottom shelf, because the bottom shelf was like book videos. But obviously in a reading slump you don't read. So I recently watched Oppenheimer, so I'm keeping all my science books on here, if you will. And we're just going to take off the ones that I'm just not vibing with at the moment, which is fine. And I think what's important to remember about this video, or like book slumps in general, like reading slumps, is they're going to happen and you can't really avoid them, because otherwise I'm gonna burn myself out. I also have an eyeliner on here, so that's cool. This book I'm actually more excited to read, The First to Die at the End, because I read the first book and I loved it, and it's actually in a video. I read it for a video and I didn't expect to love it so much. So some books from over here. My bedroom is still kind of a mess, but you get the gist. So like these two cubby holes, where's my finger? These two cubby holes have books in. This bottom one I'm not really going to touch, but the top one I do want to touch. So The Idea of You, which I believe is becoming a movie, I am actually drawn to. A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, Lessons in Chemistry, and of course Silver Flames. Because although I haven't finished RWRB, I'm still going to read these. And then Miss Magnolia. But I think I might read the whole Magnolia series. Call me crazy in like a week. Because I have this feeling that I'm going to get out of my book slump and then I'm just going to want to read. So I'm all of a sudden going to get out of a reading slump. And then I'm going to be like, oh, I've got so much to read. And then I'm going to read the whole Magnolia Park series, basically. You know when you've got too many books and it's almost worrying? That's how I feel. But because they're in no particular order, I kind of feel bad about it. Because I just don't... Alright, okay. I lied. Okay. I love this book. I've read it before. So I think it will help me in the long run for this reading slump if I have the A Lover's Discourse by Roland Barthes on here. Slot back in here. So basically, what we've done is really nothing at all. But we've revamped it, so now I can look at this, see different books, and like visualise what ones I want to read. If that makes sense. I feel like it doesn't. I also feel like I've done nothing. Yeah. Okay, I wanted to give a little update because it is now September 7th, and yesterday I actually finished RWRB. On my reading goals, I'm now at 49, and I'm technically one book behind, which annoys me. But the UK is also going through a heat wave at the moment. Look at this. Look at this. 28 degrees. It should not be 28 degrees on September 7th in the UK. And it's coming from the east, so that's cool, I guess. I usually like read outside, and I'm really good at like reading in the park, but it's too hot. I'm sweating now.
Are you doing a video?
I'm giving an update.
Is it live now?
Yeah.
Running?
It's recording.
I need you to help me a moment. Was that an issue?
It could be. Why?
Come back in half an hour, shall I?
What do you need help with?
Put a bike on a stand.
I'll come do it. I'll be right back, guys. I finished RWRB and I gave it a 5 stars because I was crying. Tears streaming down my face. And I was reading it in a park. And obviously I annotated it. So finishing this means I can go on to A Court of Frost and Starlight. I'm not going to because I do want to read Love Theoretically. Look at me, look at me. You're looking? When I was a wee young lad in my first year of uni, I used to start every morning reading with a cup of hot chocolate. It's 9 o'clock now. I usually did this at like 5:30, but I'm going to do that, so. So, it's currently like, I don't remember what time it was. It's not 7 o'clock in the morning. I think it was like 10 to 7 in the morning. And I'm still in my reading slump. However, I have video plans as I feel myself sort of weaning out of it. Because yesterday I read for fun. I know, who is she? So, instead of like googling different ways to get out of this reading slump, we're just gonna do a spoiler-free reading vlog for the rest of this because, oh god, I can't get it. I have been thoroughly enjoying this, Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, and I'm halfway through chapter 9. I know, exciting things. And it will be the first full book that I've read in September. Because I finished RWRB, so I think for the rest of today, because I work at 3, so I have 8 hours basically to do whatever I want, which would be fun. But yeah, because I keep feeling like I've ordered books, but I have not ordered books. And it's because I got paid yesterday, so I'm like, oh, I could order books. So yeah, so basically what's going on is I'm just sat here reading, having a fun old time. I finished my hot chocolate, which is what was in there. But I also have plans to just tidy up my room a bit more today. But I won't show you that because that is what this video is. Tea. Okay, I wanted to give an update because but my camera battery died halfway through the clip, and it was like the early morning, I think, so I was like whispering and it was really awkward. Anyway, I'm gonna give an update on my reading slump and how it's going. So I'm currently on chapter 22, which is page 316 of Love Theoretically. So yesterday I read 90 to 120 pages, and I feel like that's a pretty good feat. And it wasn't like a, oh, I should read, so I'm gonna read. It was like a really like, oh my god, I actually can't stop thinking about this book and I really want to read it. And also, when I was working on Saturday night, I was doing a late shift. I called my sister, and because I'd done everything I needed, I was like, can you bring up a book? So I was like reading it at work as well, which is pretty good. And on my threads, which is attached to the Instagram down below, I talked about how this is the book that might actually get me out of my reading slump. And I'm glad that I turned this into like a reading this book to get out of my reading slump. I'm glad I don't have to like Google different ways to get out of it, because I've received some belated birthday gifts. So I got boyfriend material, because I have husband material, but I didn't have the first one. And it wasn't to love Jason Thorne, it was to hate Adam Carson. That's the guy from Love Theoretically. I don't remember the name, but you like by that author, that sister collection of books. I don't know what it is. It's downstairs. Basically, I got some books. And I feel like even though it's September and it's like full vibes, and I have been like, I'm currently watching a Christmas movie. I kind of want romances. I'm kind of in a romance era, which is fine because I've never gotten in a reading slump because of romances. It's always been like fantasy or something. I think where I've been reading like one ACOTAR book a month, I think I've like, because they're like the longest books I've ever read. I think it's like, it feels like I'm forcing it, but like when I'm reading it, I'm excited, but then I'm also like, oh, it's so long, it's going to take me forever to read, so I just don't read it. And I think that's where half the problem lies. But this book. So basically, what I was saying in my update is I kept saying peep show and I couldn't think of another word. I got to the Olive, so if you don't know, Olive and Adam make a cameo in this book, and it's really fun. Basically, they're friends with Jack, so Jack is him. They're friends with Jack. Adam is through like grad school or something like that. Like they were friends at like the beginning of his career. And I've been thinking about this book all day, and I've been home for like almost 2 hours now, and I've not picked it up yet because I've had dinner and other stuff. And I've got like 60 pages left. So I'm really excited. Anyone else cover the bottom half of the page? I kind of wish she proposed to him, I'm not gonna lie. But then I would have been like, it's unrealistic to propose 8 months after you've been with someone. My final thoughts on Love Theoretically. Now, I literally just finished this, so I'm not gonna like give it a rating, but I will tell you it is probably above a 4-star. I've never rated, even her novellas, I've not rated below a 4-star. And I can understand some of the criticisms against her style of writing, but I really enjoy it. I will say, I don't think I prefer it more than Love on the Brain or The Love Hypothesis. I feel like the romances in those were stronger, or they had like better like closing elements. However, physics is my favourite field of science. So compared to biology or astrodynamic, astro engineering, I don't know. Space is pretty cool. So I give Love on the Brain that. But I did love this book. I'm probably thinking like 4.5, 4 stars. That's kind of where I'm lingering at right now. But yeah. No, the thing is like when I finish a book, I'm like, I do want to continue reading. Should I just pick up another one? But then I'm like, I also have to let my brain sit, because otherwise I feel like my brain isn't breathing. Do you see where I'm going with that? So it's like I could go back into One Last Soul, which I'm on chapter 7 of. You see that little slit there? Which I'm on chapter 7 of. And when I'm reading this, I do really enjoy it. However, Casey McQuiston has really long chapters, on an average of like 20 to 30 pages long, and I am not committing to that right now. But I don't know anyone that has short chapters, coincidentally. Do you know what I mean? The presumption that my book slump is over. I say that just because I finished a book. I feel like Sarah read like 3 or 4 books before she was like, oh, it's 100% over. I'm gonna finish this vlog here and say thanks for watching. Make sure to stick around for some more really mediocre bookish content. You're welcome. But I feel like my reading does always sort of pick up at the start of like an academic year, even if I, for the first time in my life, I'm not academically yearing it. Thanks for watching. See you on the flip side.